Well, then we are definitely going to the British Museum.
In this video, good morning. It is day 3 here in London for us, and today we've got another packed day full of activities. The first thing we're off to do is to see the home of Sherlock Holmes. Now, of course, Sherlock Holmes is a fictional character, but 221B Baker Street, there's a statue there. Grace has just recently read the Sherlock Holmes mysteries, so that'll be really cool to see. Then we're heading off to the Museum of Brands. Then we're heading off to Notting Hill, made famous by the movie of the same name, of course. We plan to eat lunch there, and then in the afternoon we're heading to the British Museum. Now again, if you've got kids and if they have watched the Night at the Museum movie series 25 times the way we have in our household, then you're really going to want to check out the British Museum. I don't think Tilly will be there.
Hey, what, have you never seen like a beautiful, attractive, gorgeous woman before?
But we're going to check that out this afternoon, so join us. There's lots to see and do today. Now, just in case you thought I was perfect, and I know many of you are tempted to think that, kidding, I made a mistake about how to get to Baker Street. So we jumped on the DLR, which I had thought I had researched thoroughly in planning this trip several months ago, and then we got on the train and realized that it wasn't going to take us where we needed to. What was amazing was security staff on the platforms here. We found them all incredibly helpful and friendly, and he just got on his phone and said, oh yeah, you can stay on this train because if you tag off again here, it's going to charge you sort of a penalty fee. So just stay on this train, change at a different station, get onto the underground, and that'll take you where you want to go. We have exited Baker Street station, straight onto Baker Street, and 221B is just down this way. Now, in case you thought you'd be coming to Baker Street and seeing the exact home of the fictional Sherlock Holmes, you're not going to. You've got 219 Baker Street over here, which is a brand new building, and then you come along, and where you'd expect to see 221B, you have a gift shop.
See but not observe.
You're not going to actually see the number 221B. None of these houses is labelled that. The very next one over here, as you can see, is 231. You actually want to see the statue of Sherlock. He's actually right outside this house over here, and here's the statue right here. Now, the London Underground was, of course, one of the first undergrounds to be built anywhere in the world. So you will see some of the stations really are old. You've got super low ceilings over here. People were shorter in those days, and so you'll even see the trains have really low ceilings because they have to fit through the tunnels that were built so long ago when people were a lot smaller. This shows you the world's first underground railway. So there you go, I said it was one of the oldest. This says it was the oldest. It was opened in 1863. We've stepped out of Ladbroke Grove subway station into a very busy area. Lots of food options around here. Obviously just a very local area, so there's, you know, the KFC and those sorts of shops as well. Now, the last place that we went, Sherlock Holmes and the British Museum that we're going to this afternoon, those are really for Grace, but this stop here is for Elizabeth. The Museum of Brands is what it says. It covers the development of consumerism from the Industrial Revolution 200 years ago to the present day. Prepare to walk down memory lane as it reminds you of the products and brands you grew up enjoying, whatever your age. I'd have a pack of the Saratoga Whiffs cigarettes, please. What's really incredible is to see how some things haven't changed at all. So, you know, polish used to come in a can like that 100 years ago or more, and today it still comes exactly the same way. Now, if this is your kind of thing, you could spend hours here. There's so much detail to look at. It wasn't cheap. It was £28.50 for 2 adults and 1 child. What this museum will also help you do is appreciate just how old you are when you see things like these chocolates over here that we used to have, very similar ones growing up. And when you realize your kids don't know anything about that, you just realize how time has passed and how things have changed. May the 8th, 1945. There's some interactive activities here as well.
Smarties.
So we've reached the 1950s. You've got licorice all sorts over there. Amazing, eh?
Lego!
Hopalong Cassidy. You've entered the TV era by this stage, and even colour TV. And we're starting to get to things that I'm old enough to remember, even though I was only born in the 70s. We actually had this exact toy car here made by Corby here in the UK from the Saint movie. Something that's really useful about a visit to a place like this is the opportunity it provides for you to teach your kids about fashion and about how things go in circles. So we're seeing things like Paddington Bear over here from the 1970s, but we're visiting just as the third Paddington movie has come onto screens, and Grace is quite obsessed with Paddington at the moment. But she didn't appreciate that this is actually a 50-year-old story and that it's just come back and become popularized again. Now, I knew that Elizabeth would absolutely love this place, and that is exactly what is eventuating. So she's getting a lot of value out of it and helping Grace to understand our own history and a bit of the history of the world, really, as you look at how consumerism has developed and expanded choice for people. And now that we're getting into an era closer to Grace's own life, she's starting to get really excited to see some of the brands she recognizes that have been around for decades. I really like this display over here. It shows you the top 100 brands here in the UK as of 2023. So you'll recognize pretty much all these brands, you'll have seen them around, and it gives you a snapshot of life in 2023. Here's the signal that it is lunchtime. Elizabeth is drooling over the Maltesers, her favourite.
They're really teasing us.
Those were an amazing invention.
So just up the road from the Museum of Brands, you have a very famous road, Portobello Road, and we're walking down that now. We'll check out the market for a little while and then head off to lunch. So most of it looks like handicrafts, things that people are making themselves. So just really a mix of things that locals would be coming out to buy for themselves as well as for tourists. And you can see it goes all the way down here. It's a really large market. Like this fruit stall over here, you know, catering to locals. But then next to it, you've got all sorts of touristy stores. You've got a Sainsbury's supermarket here if you're looking for a cheaper lunch. There right behind me is the Brown Rice restaurant. So that is where we got our lunch today. It's a buffet, so you can sit down and eat as much as you like for I think £12 or $11.95, something like that. Or you can fill up your box as full as you can make it for £7.60. So that's what we did. So we got 3 full adult portions for £7.60 each. So what's that? £22.80. So there really is so much to see here. You could spend a really good long time here if you had the time for it. You can see it goes all the way down ahead of me down there to the end of the street. Naturally, to extract value, I squashed as much as I could into this delicious bowl of food. So £7.60. We are literally just sitting on the sidewalk on the pavement here near Portobello Road and eating our delicious food. It's absolutely amazing. Elizabeth, what are your thoughts?
It's really, really good. It's really, really good.
I've almost finished mine. So.
Yeah, right. So not wasting any time there. It's just too good to leave. How about you, Grace?
I've got 3 things. So it's delicious, it's yummy, and it's very delicious.
All sorts of shops down the side streets here as well that you can access.
Read on your inner screen. What do I make?
And some really interesting characters around as well. So I've just been to Dollarland, just like what we'd call a dollar store or a $2 store, and they've got a surprising array of different drinks and food options there. So I picked up a couple of aloe vera drinks. I know Grace loves those, I love them. Some licorice lollies and an iced coffee for Elizabeth, and the sum total was £3.25. If you want to spend more money on a meal, there's all these amazing alfresco dining options around here as well. But obviously that's going to cost you a lot more. We are making our way to Kensington Palace, but look at the street behind me. Absolutely beautiful buildings, very gentrified location. I'm not sure if that happened before or after the movie, and whether the movie played a role in that, but really a beautiful neighbourhood now, very quiet, lots of very expensive cars, and lots of Chelsea football team supporters, so that tells you something about the neighbourhood. We have made it to Kensington Palace, the home of the Prince and Princess of Wales, and we've come to the sunken garden remembering Princess Diana. So it's quite a long way away, but that is a statue of her with her children. We have seen Kensington Palace, where the Prince and Princess of Wales live. We've visited the sunken garden with the memorial statue to Lady Diana, and now we're on our way to the British Museum, which involves trekking through the park to the underground. And I say trekking because the park is so massive. It's really just about as far as you can see in every direction. There must be thousands of people here scattered through the park enjoying this unseasonably warm and sunny day. We have entered Queensway Underground Station, and your options are to take the lifts down or to take the stairs. We're taking the stairs. They tell you in advance there are 123 stairs, so I stopped counting at 19, but I'll take their word for it. So we have almost made it to the British Museum. Now it's free entry, but you need to book your tickets in advance, and so we've done that. We've got a 3 o'clock booking. It's actually just a little after 3. In typically British fashion, they say don't be early and don't be late. So we should be there in just a minute. I think it's that building just down there on the left. So we're there. We're a few minutes late, but it was a very easy process to get inside. They just say if you've got your tickets already, you come straight through. Alright, so because of all the nut job protesters that head to museums these days and try to deface paintings and other things, and in the name of whatever absurd ideology, they have to ask you all sorts of crazy questions. There's an area that you can't film in, and if you've got a bag, they're going to ask you if you have tinned food, because people throw baked beans on paintings or whatever these days. So anyway, very friendly, but they are doing their job to keep you safe and to keep the museum exhibits safe. And here we are entering the building. Wow, it's busy in here. One of the busiest places we've been so far in England. Of course, tickets are free, and so when things are free, that's going to attract a crowd. We found most things here really expensive, so no wonder people come here when it's free. Unbelievable. Look at this space. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, this is what they walk in a museum.
Tell me more, Grace.
Where all the peacocks and all the other animals are walking around.
Amazing, isn't it amazing? Look at the size of it. Look how high the ceiling is here. Now, the scale of this place is just incredible. This is the additional area that Elizabeth's just described as having been built in the last 20 years or so. But there's so much on each floor to see. So we're about to start in the Egyptian area over here, ancient Egypt. It's really incredible that you get to see things like these hieroglyphics here from ancient Egypt that are from around 2400 BC. So we're talking about sketches and hieroglyphics that were made 4,400 years ago. You know, what stories do these stones have to tell? So much history that they have witnessed if only the stones could talk. We've moved on from Egypt now into ancient Assyria. And again, you've got these incredible sculptures here. This is a stylistic representation of a lion. And then you get up close and you see all the cuneiform writing over here. So one of the greatest treasures here at the British Museum is surely the Rosetta Stone, which was the first ancient Egyptian script to be deciphered, and which has allowed us to interpret all sorts of other ancient Egyptian texts based on being able to understand what was written on this one stone. It's remarkable when you start looking around this museum that you just see so many incredible old things that you'll find yourself walking past sculptures that might be 700, 800, 900 years old, and you almost just dismiss them as you walk past because you've seen so many things that are even up to 4,000 or 4,500 years old. So here we are now at one of the famous Easter Island statues. Now, I visited Easter Island about 15 years ago. It is an incredible place to visit. I'd encourage you to visit if you could, but amazing to see one of those amazing statues preserved here.
You give me gum.
I give you gum.
If history is your thing, if ancient history is your thing, you know, you could spend hours here. You could spend the whole day. National Park in South Africa, you see so many elephants that you eventually become blasé about it. You say, oh, there's another 6 elephants over there, majestic, beautiful animals, and you feel a little bit of it like that with all these incredible sculptures that you see. These ones are around 2,000 years old. And we're on our way through to the South American exhibit. Grace wants to see the Aztec serpent. We've been learning about the Aztecs and the Olmecs and the different tribes of Central and South America at school. So here we are now in the Central and South American exhibits. There's a serpent, but I don't think it's the one. It's the one on the wall there behind you, actually. Yeah, the Aztec serpent. It's one of the most famous pieces in the whole museum. Here we are in yet another incredible room. So large. You've got all sorts of old books here along all the walls. Some of these will be hundreds of years old.
It's a copy that says please touch.
And this
so
is a copy of the Rosetta Stone that you can actually touch. That's very cool. We're in another exhibition hall here, which is basically dedicated only to coins, production of coins all over the world. Turkey, Iran, India, South and Central America, how they're used in religious rituals, how they're made. And this is one hall just for that. Busts of dignitaries from the Roman Empire. It's incredibly busy in these ancient Egyptian exhibition halls. There are others on other floors, but this is obviously where the most valuable exhibits are. And there's big crowds here. Lots of sarcophagi, plural I guess, of sarcophagus, and mummies. So here is one right here. We don't know who this is. No one that I met personally. We are in the Islamic World Exhibition Hall, which goes back about 1,000 years. We've got things here from 1250 to 1500 AD, Iran and Central Asia. We're in the exhibition hall showing us European history of the Middle Ages. And here we have found what's called the Lewis chess manual from an incredible chess set. So that concludes our visit to the British Museum. Unbelievable experience with so much to see. You could spend a day or days here. I would recommend that if history is your thing, you get a morning ticket and then spend as many hours here as you can. So it's been another action-packed day with so much to see, from Baker Street to Notting Hill, from the Museum of Brands to Kensington Palace, and then to top it all off, seeing some of the world's most precious artifacts, and the setting for Night at the Museum 3 was a real privilege. Now, before I walk you through how much we spent today, don't forget to subscribe to join us on our 5-country, 2-continent trip. Tomorrow, we're off to France, so you're going to want to come along for the ride. Just how much did the day cost us? It's our last night in London, and our relatives have been so generous in hosting us that we bought a huge dinner to share with them on the way home. All up, excluding transport and accommodation, today we spent £139.